You might be used to avoiding what I'm about to say, but here's the truth. You don't have a business. You are not a C-suite executive. You don't like the body you're in. Your social circle is a joke, and no women are interested in you. Well, I'm sorry, but here's another hard pill to swallow. This is not because you're unlucky or any of the other bullshit you might tell yourself. The reason you are going to die never having achieved any of your goals is because you get in your own way. Well, luckily for you, this ends today. First, who am I? My name is Spencer, and I am the 28-year-old COO of a company that did $30 million in sales in just 30 months. But before I got here, just like you, I would always get in my own way. I was living the life of a failure for years. But here's the thing, it was all in my head. I was a failure because in my mind, I was so terrified of starting a business because of the risk that it might fail. So what I did instead was I just kept reading books and kept listening to podcasts. I probably wasted 2 whole years researching just this one business that I was going to start because I was so scared that it was going to fail when I did. This created a vicious cycle, kind of like the one you're probably in right now. I wanted to start something, so I researched it. I got to a point where I was pretty clear how to get started. When I was about to start, the fear and anxiety would set in that it wasn't going to work. So despite all the research I did in the past, my confidence being so low led me to continue to research. This then restarted the cycle, leading me back to research purgatory, where you get stuck in limbo and never make any moves. But here's the truth of the matter now that I'm on the other side of this. After some basic preliminary research, you'll only really begin to learn once you dive the fuck in. But of course, probably like you, I didn't know how to dive in because I didn't understand the signs of how I was getting in my own way, let alone how to fix it. Well, I'm about to tell you exactly how to do it. And if you stick around to the end, I'll break down exactly how I went from my mom paying my rent to making multiple 6 figures a year by getting out of my own way, taking charge of my life, and taking action on my goals. So let's jump into the first of 2 major ways that you are holding yourself back from greatness. Now, the first is the external way. We're allowing distractions in our life. Now, I already talk about how to avoid distraction and get laser-like focus in this video right here, so definitely check that out if you need it. But other than that, here's some ways that we distract ourselves. We do stuff like work with the TV on. We work with our phones beside us. We put ourselves in environments that we know we're weak. I'm talking about going to bars, hanging out with shitty friends, leaving weed in our house, keeping junk food in the pantry. We keep video games installed and our controllers sitting out. Now, all of these things increase the odds of us not being razor sharp and chasing our goals. Now, we talked about the external ways that you are hindering yourself from greatness, but now let's get to the other side of things, the internal ways, and this is where we're going to be spending most of our time and really focusing on. And I'm going to call this pursuit anxiety. Now, I know that you know this one very well. It's that feeling when you want to start out on a new path, but you have anxiety around things like, this won't work out. What if I fail? What will my friends think? What if I already missed my chance? This is already really saturated. I don't know this well enough to start. Now look, one surefire way to know when you are suffering from pursuit anxiety is when you start by constantly postponing taking action. I'll start in the summer, I'll start next year, I'll start when I finish this book and every single book that it recommends. And then it ends with you talking yourself out of taking action altogether. I probably missed the best time to start. You didn't. This doesn't really feel like it's for me. It is. I'll start in the new year after I do a little bit more research. It's fucking January. The point is, dude, that 99 times out of 100, you're getting in your own way. Now, Seneca knew this and said this about 2,000 years ago when he said, there are more things likely to frighten us than to crush us. We suffer more often in our imagination than in reality. But look, I get where you're stuck and I get how frustrating it is. And that's exactly why you need to stick to the end of this video so you can get the system that I literally use to this day to overcome my own pursuit anxiety. For example, here's a story that exemplifies how 99% of all suffering we do in our own heads. Believe it or not, despite the tattoos I have on my skin and the piercings I have on my body, I used to be deathly terrified of needles. And I mean like clinically phobic. When I knew I had a needle coming up, I couldn't sleep for literally weeks upon weeks because I knew that soon enough, I'd get that little bastard jabbed into my skin. In fact, leading up to a dream 1-month-long vacation with my family to Jamaica that we had planned, I had actually tried to convince my parents that I didn't really want to go, but I knew internally that that was because the dread of this tiny little tetanus shot was so scary that it wasn't even worth the month in paradise. And for anyone who is not familiar, tetanus shots are like some of the smallest needles out there. But anyway, the day would come where the tetanus shot had to happen. I would get there, I would act absolutely hysterical. I would get the fucking thing, and then I would literally laugh at how not a big deal it was and try and convince everybody in the room that I was just joking the whole time and I was just putting on some sort of act or something. But I wasn't. And guys, this story is the exact same thing that happens with you when you're about to follow your dreams and chase your goals. You suffer in your mind for maybe weeks, and then you try and talk yourself out of something that would be amazing for you. But all you have to do is getting through that tiny needle that is publishing that video, opening that Shopify store, talking to that girl, walking into that weight room, whatever it is. But hey, now that you know the ways that you're getting in your own way, you made it this far into this video, so you're clearly someone who cares about taking action. I'm going to honor the promise that I made at the beginning of this video and give you the broken down steps that I use to conquer and crush pursuit anxiety. So when you're pursuing something new, here are the steps that I want you to use to ensure you take action, crush pursuit anxiety, and get out of your own way. First thing is bookmark this video or save it in a YouTube playlist that you use to generate motivation when you're about to start something big. Now, in a notebook or a Word document, I want you to write down how long you think the preliminary research phase is realistically going to take you, and be honest here. So for example, if this is starting to work out or something, you might need to watch a few YouTube videos to understand form and technique and stuff like that. But if this is making a living trading Forex or something, this might be listening to a few podcasts, seeking a coach, reading a few books, which by the way, you're probably reading books altogether wrong. So if you want to learn the right way to read books, check out this video right here. Next, in that Word document, I want you to select and describe what the first step would look like in taking action towards that goal. The fourth step is I want you to shave 20% off that research time that you gave yourself in the first step. Next, I want you to take what's left over and I want you to attach when you're going to study to specific dates in either Google Calendar or your phone's calendar. The final step is you're going to begin your study regimen with the last date on it, clearly stating what you described as the first step to taking action and the time of day that you're going to take it. And there you have it. Even as a C-suite executive, I still use this exact strategy whenever I'm chasing a new ambitious goal. Now, in this video, we primarily addressed the internal way that you get in your own way, which is pursuit anxiety. But if you're a procrastinator who struggles more with the external ways that we get in our own way, namely distractions, then in about 10 seconds, I'm gonna put a video up on your screen that is specifically made for you. So go and watch that. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Spencer with Must Become. Remember that your potential is your obligation, so what you can become, you must become.